Yeah.
And they speak very proper. Like if you were to speak
But why would you want to speak like that? Some triggering stuff and some sensitive stuff to some people, but... Hey, welcome to... What? Welcome to episode 18 of the Duncan and Deanna Show, where we talk about homeschool, health, and a bunch of other stuff. And today, as usual, we don't have a clue what we're talking about. What were we supposed to talk about today?
I don't know.
We're trying to do so many, because then when I'm gone, they can keep posting. So when this posts, I could be gone. I might be here. Not sure. Should I go or should I stay?
Stay.
But
Quick, come up with something.
thanks for watching. No. Well, you got to have some ideas once in a while. I can't have all the ideas.
Every once in a while I do have an idea, but then I don't write them down.
Why not?
I don't know, like, oh, I'll remember. Don't remember.
Oh. Should write them down.
I know.
Should have a ongoing thing. I have a ideas thing in my phone that I write ideas down. I do have ideas for podcasts on it too, but my phone's up there. Videoing. But yeah, I have a blank. I wish you had ideas once in a while. That's something we can talk about. Why do I have to come up with all of it all the time? And I don't mind that. But just in general, I just make all the decisions. I just run out of steam once in a while.
That.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
Yeah, but people don't. We have to talk about the same thing over and over. We're going to talk about the same thing over and over for the next 10 years or however long we do the podcast. Because you don't come up with new stuff.
Yeah,
you just talk about the same thing over and over and over and over.
Well, I think some people are good at making decisions like you, and some people aren't, like me. And that's why we got married.
I just run out of decision-making feeling once in a while, where I'm just like, oh, I have to keep deciding and deciding. Anyway, I haven't made many decisions today.
Nope.
But I guess it's Sunday today. I don't know when this will go on, but this will probably go on
Duncan's in his suit.
Monday, Tuesday. This will probably be on Tuesday, I think. But because there's one posted this morning, one's going to post tomorrow, and then this one.
Wow.
The new start of the week, what's the homeschool plan? We can talk about homeschool again. We haven't talked about homeschooling in a long time. What's the plan for this week?
The same old, same old.
That's not helpful. What's the plan?
The plan is to do math and language arts every single day. Laska is almost done one of her books, so I need to order her the next book.
Nice.
I also need to register them for school next year. And then social studies. Last week we didn't do as much social studies as I wanted to because of, don't know why, just other stuff happened instead. So I need to do some social studies, extra social studies.
Why do you got to register homeschool kids for school?
Like if you want to be a part of a program, for their school, I would need to register them so that they have a spot next year because they can only take so many.
Like you register them with Heartwood or whatever. Yeah. Oh.
And that's like with any, like there's all sorts of them. And
do you
actually
have to
you
do
need
that to get the funding and stuff?
Yes. Not all programs have funding though, but you need to at the beginning of every year, you have to either register them as a homeschooler, so register them with somebody because the government needs to know that you're doing something.
Mm-hmm. I thought they're supposed to be having quiet time down there.
Yeah, it doesn't sound very quiet. Because like last year I registered just through I just like found a program like Anchor Academy and I was like, oh, I'll just register. I just went in and said, we're homeschooling this year. They signed us up.
And you have to do it because of what with the government, you said? I was distracted.
Well, the government needs to know that you're doing something.
Oh, why do they need to know?
That's just the rules, I guess.
Crazy. Hey, you're supposed to be being quiet, having some quiet time down there, okay? Okay, go be quiet then. a mask they made.
Yeah. So you're either, for homeschool, I don't know much about it, but you're either enrolled or registered. So we are enrolled, I think that's how it goes. I'd have to look it up to be exact, but enrolled, like the kids are enrolled in like a co-op, a learning program, so that they have a teacher and stuff.
Yeah.
But if you're a registered homeschool, you just register. You can do it through a public school too. Like I could call the public school and register, basically saying we're homeschooling this year.
Yeah, I see. That makes sense. The government's got to have their finger in everything.
Yeah, because like there's every kid gets a certain amount of money, right, for school.
Oh. Even
Too.
if you're not registered with, like you said, depends on the program you're in. But like if you just registered like
You don't
did
get
with that
any
Anchor,
money.
then you get nothing.
Yeah.
Who gets it then?
I have
Just
no idea
taxes.
actually. I have no idea.
Funny.
That kind of thing kind of confuses me. All the registering and enrolling. I think if you enroll in like, if you called the school some like elementary schools or whatever, you can enroll in, or register through them and then have access to their sports teams and stuff.
Oh, really?
I think some of them, not all schools.
Well, I went when I was in grade 9. I was still homeschooled, and I went in 2 days a week to shop class at the high school.
Yeah.
Or not high school, junior high. Made a knife. We used to.
I know
The whole
a few people do that.
junior high class would make knives. Wonder if they do that.
They probably don't do that anymore.
We all of us had a knife. We all made our own knife.
like a class
shop
of kids
class.
with knives. Would
That
not,
should be no problem.
I know, but
It's
I
dumb
don't-
that should be a
I
problem.
would be. Maybe they do,
actually
but I would
probably
be
better.
very surprised.
I would rather all the kids had a knife than only one guy had a knife that was whacked.
I guess.
Hey?
You don't know who's going to be whacked though.
Well, the guy that's the one guy with the knife is probably whacked. We went on another field trip when I was younger than that, where we went and did this thing in the bush, and then the guy, he was like this guru, wilderness survival guru guy, I can't remember his name. But he sold all of us machetes after you could buy. So we were told ahead of time, bring money because you can buy a machete from this guy. And then all of us on the school bus, we all had these machetes we bought from him.
Yeah, that would not fly.
They were like $10 or something. So he would make a little extra money by selling machetes to all the kids. We had a full bus of kids with machetes.
Yeah,
Those things are sweet. They last a long time.
that's crazy.
Hacking out in the bush with them. But yeah, that's good market, right? You got all your kids there, they're all excited for it, and then you tell the parents ahead of time, hey, they need $10 with them or whatever it was, and then everyone gets a machete.
Yeah, well, it's interesting.
That's funny. Huh. Well, you know what I was thinking about was that we could talk about is how in the Bible, how it's like everyone thinks of like Bible as being like thee and thou and all this stuff. Like when, you know, the 10 Commandments that's like a common thing. You'll see people change like the 10 Commandments are for a redneck, or they'll make like mutilations of it or whatever, right? But it's always written like thou shalt not.
Yeah.
Because like for some reason in all of our minds, we think that back in the Bible days, everyone walked around, they're like thou this and thee and everything. But
Well,
none
that's
of
how
them,
I picture it.
none of them spoke English. English wasn't a
right.
language. They were speaking Hebrew and Greek and
Right.
whatever else, Arabic. Is it a language? Some Arabic?
Arabic.
But they weren't speaking English. So they weren't walking around like Moses wasn't like, here's the old law, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt. He wasn't, that's not how they were speaking. And that clicked for me recently because you just think that because everything in our whole, like the whole Christian culture or whatever is geared to think that they walked around speaking like that, like thou and thee, and that even like, yeah, that Jesus spoke that way and everybody, but they didn't even speak English. Wasn't even a language. It hadn't even been invented.
Really?
Yeah.
When was English invented?
A long time after that.
Really?
Where the thou and these was like 16th century English. So like 400 or 500 years ago, not
Yeah.
2,000 years ago, there wasn't even English, wasn't even a thing. So it's kind of funny that people think that's how they spoke. And it's just that's kind of how you think it is. And then the other part of that too is like taking words and putting a lot of weight on the meaning of a certain word, but that's actually not the word they used because they didn't speak English. So it is 100% impossible for them to have used that word. The word didn't exist. So they used some other word. And if you ever studied language, there's a lot even between like French and English, which are really close. There's words in French that don't have an English word.
Yeah.
And so like think if we're talking about somebody 4,000 years ago in Abraham's time, or 3,500 years ago and Moses was writing the old law, like there's definitely words they had that we don't have a word for. And so like
they just
the translators have done the best they could, but the point is they weren't using the words that we read today. And that's one thing I find really cool is I put in ChatGPT and I said, give me the original text for this part of the scripture or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I always find that neat to look at it and then like
retranslate it.
Yeah, transliterate or something where it's just like you literally have it translated word for word. And it's like all the grammar and everything's all different, right? So it's harder to read actually, but you just see what each word is as close as we can get. Yeah. And it's kind of interesting to see. But it's a funny thing that like our culture today, like the early English language is how we think anyone early English language or previous spoke. When, in fact, I don't know if you have your phone on you, how old's the English language, but it's not that old.
Is it?
Rain.
My phone's on the counter.
Grab Mom's phone off the island here so you can have it, please. It's on the other side.
How old is the English language?
Yeah. See how old it is. How old do you think it is first before you put it in?
I have like I have a hard time wrapping my head around any like 2,000 years ago or whatever. I can't, like, I don't even know. I don't have any
I bet you
concept
it's 600 years old. I don't think it'd be more than 1,000.
1,600.
Yeah, that's
approximately
400 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 400 years out of the Earth's been, people have been on the Earth for, if you believe the Bible, people have been on the Earth for, 4,000 or 5,000 years, give or take. And if you're people that think that people have been on the Earth for millions of years, you believe that, but that's even makes it more extreme. But say we've been on the Earth for 5,000 years and only 400, less than a tenth of those years has English been around for a tenth of that. And so there's 9/10 of the time of the Earth that nobody spoke English and it wasn't even a thought. It wasn't a language yet.
I think the English is just getting like worse and worse.
What do you mean?
Like English, like not that long ago, was like very proper and you used like proper words and stuff, and now English is getting less and less, I don't know what you'd call it, refined. You don't find?
Well, maybe, but you want to walk around saying thee, thou?
No, not like that.
Thus?
Like I'm thinking about like
my dearest.
100 years ago. Just because we're listening to Laura Ingalls, and when would that be? Early 1900s?
Yeah.
And they speak very proper. Like if you were to speak
But why would you want to speak like that?
I don't know. Well, yeah, I'm not saying you have to, but it's changing.
But why is that proper English compared to how we speak now?
I don't know. I don't know. It just sounds nice.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, I think so.
Does it sound nice because it's different?
It's not thee and thou.
Yeah, I know. But why would that be proper still?
Maybe proper is not the right word.
But
I mean,
that's
like better.
What
we
think.
Have lots of like slang and stuff.
Yeah.
My point being, it's
That's the
evolving.
languages evolve. That's how it works. English evolved out of what? What did it tell you there?
Latin. Is that what it is?
Yeah, there's mixed a bunch of stuff. English is a evolved
Originating
language. That's
from
why it's
the arrival of Germanic tribes in British Isles. The early form, known as Old English, was spoken from the 5th to 11th century before evolving through Middle English into Modern English.
5th to 11th century.
That's what it says.
What's the 5th century? Isn't that like in the 400s or 500s?
I don't know.
Yeah, right here, 400 AD, not... Oh, the English language is 1,600 years old. I thought you meant it was in 1600 AD.
Oh.
So, originated 400 AD. I see. Dialects of it.
Well, it's definitely changed. I wonder if, like,
16th
back
century
then,
to present, it's standardized. That makes sense.
you know how, like, there's some, like, I think people online call it, like, brain rot, like, phrases and stuff that teenagers use and stuff. I wonder if they had that back in the day. You know how, like, they just say, like,
100%.
something's, like, sus and...
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't think of any more examples. But do they have that back in the day?
People would have always done that.
Really?
That would make no sense if they didn't. I would say that's how languages evolve, right?
Probably.
Like, we don't pronounce, guarantee you, like, you couldn't even read the English from 450 or whenever it says that was.
Did you do, well, I guess you went to high school, but did you do Shakespeare
Yeah.
in high school?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when you do it anyway. Because Shakespeare's that Old English.
Here, I'm telling it to give me an example of Old English. Oh, this comes from Beowulf. You've heard of that?
No, I have not.
So Old English, here's how original Old English looked like. You wouldn't even think it's the same language.
Weird.
Like, you can't read that.
No.
I can't read it.
I just assumed Old English was like thee and thou and shalt and...
No, it's like, it's not even the same language. When
Yeah,
did
totally different.
English, it's not even the same characters,
No.
start to look like, so even then they weren't, even in the Old English, they weren't speaking. Like, even if you look at like take the King James Bible that's actually written a few hundred years ago, you wouldn't be able to read it. The writing's so hard to read.
Like those characters or whatever, letters?
They weren't quite like that, but it's very hard to read. And like the King James version that people read now isn't even written the same as the original one. Like, the original one is, you would be having a tough time trying to read it. I'm gonna see, when does it start to look like it did now? It started in the 1300s to the 1600s.
Educational podcast here, very educational. Diving into the English language.
Like, here is...
These are things I don't think about.
Here is in the 1100s to 1500s.
When
that April with his sure suit. And you can almost read it, but you can't quite.
Yeah.
Still, it's the same letters.
Interesting. I wish I was more into language. Like, some people are really into it. And learning different languages. I feel like your family is.
Dad is a bit.
I wish I did. I could. I would have liked to know French. I wish I put more effort into learning French when I was in school and in a more French area, but I just didn't care.
I'm getting it to take the same. Your keyboard's different than mine.
Really?
So Old English. So I'm getting it to take, hi, my son, how was your day at work today? And here's the...
Meanwhile, everyone's listening that can't even
Can't see it.
see
Oh,
it,
ChatGPT, this Hal Mun Sunu Who was being dog ate bam whoosh to dig.
Weird, eh?
So you can see a little bit of resemblance.
But nothing's close.
And then Middle English, 1300s. Heal, my son. How was thy day at work today? Work is spelled W-E-R-K-E. The kids would pick that up better than the stuff now. And then early modern English. Good morrow, my son. How was your day at work today? That's getting pretty close. And modern English. That's funny, eh?
Interesting.
How was thy day? How was being dog? Who was being dog? Funny. Weird. Yeah, so people didn't even speak thee and thous like 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
That came into place. So when you think of like old people walking around the earth, they were speaking languages we couldn't even pronounce. Well, there's some of them are still in existence, but likely anyone watching this can't pronounce them or speak them.
Probably not.
Wonder if it would read that for us. Here, let me see if it'll read that. Well, I just want to know how that sounds. Where's the little read it for us? Here it is.
Fun question. Seeing the same idea across time really shows how dramatically English changed.
Oh, this is dumb. Just line them all up in a row so I can get you to read them one after the other. Okay, here we go. Now I'll get it.
Here they are lined up cleanly, oldest, newest, so you can read them straight through and hear the evolution. Old English, c. 900, 1100. Hal means sunu. Hu wastindek tham weorts todag. Middle English, c. 1300s, era of Geoffrey Chaucer. Hail, my son, how was thy day at work today? Early modern English, 1500 to 1600s, era of William Shakespeare. Good morrow, my son, how was your day at work today? Modern English today. Hi, my son, how was your day at work today?
There we go. Big
The
change
evolution
over
of
the last
English
1600 years.
Language.
Good.
I wonder how it'll change in the...
Yeah, exactly.
Years to
Another
come.
600 years if it lasts that long. Because it could disappear. There's languages that have gone away. Like nobody speaks Latin anymore,
I don't
right?
think English is going to disappear.
Latin was the main language. Was Latin the main language of the world at one point? Pretty sure it was. No. Closest thing Europe had ever to an international language. For over 1,000 years, it was global-ish. English the most spoken language today, like as far as universally across regions, and then as far as how many people speak it, what's the most spoken language? Like what's the most broad language around the world, and then what's the language the most number of people speak? It might be two different things, might be the same one. Because there's like a lot of people in China and India, right? What's it say? This is an interesting podcast, eh?
Those are probably so boring to watch.
Why is that?
It's just you and ChatGPT.
Hit your limit for the free plan today.
Yep.
English, there's 1.5 billion speakers right now worldwide, and Mandarin Chinese, there's 1.2 billion total. So English is the most spoken, and it's the global lingua franca. I like how he still used Latin. Mm-hmm. Here we go.
The more you know.
Wonder how long till I have to use my ChatGPT Pro and see how long till English disappears.
I don't think English is going to disappear.
Got anything else you want to talk about?
But no.
No? Why not? That was good.
It's educational.
Very educational. We'll have to
Which
think of something for
you, like,
tonight because we
deep
got to do
dive.
another one tonight.
Really? Into like the most random things. Like yesterday at the supper table, trying to figure out which are berries and...
Oh, yeah, that's actually crazy, eh? Like almost everything. Blueberries are a berry and grapes are a berry. But like raspberries, strawberries, blackberries are not berries.
Cranberries are berries.
Yeah, cranberries are berries. Avocados are berries.
Yeah, bananas are berries.
Yeah.
That was the deep
was
dive at the
funny.
supper table last night. So you never know
Language, you
what
got to understand what words mean.
educational. Why?
Because if you're using them, you should understand what you're saying. So
Yeah.
it's good stuff to know. Right, Rain? Cool. Thanks for watching. And hope you learned something today about Old English or homeschool. We did talk about homeschool too. Bit of a random one. But don't forget to hit subscribe, like, follow, share, and look at our past episodes. There's some good stuff in some of them, some triggering stuff and some sensitive stuff to some people, but those people probably aren't watching most of these anyway, so...